I am your host, Tyler, along with our other host, Jesus. He is here in the bottom right corner. We are having two featured guests today. One of them, the top right corner. You can introduce yourself. That's
What's
you, right?
up, everybody? I'm Andrew. I'm Tyler's older brother.
Yes, he is my older brother. That's my boy. Andrew,
Let's give
what's
it
your
a
favorite?
let's give it a round of applause.
Yeah, give him a round of applause.
Oh,
I'm gonna get some claps going when I figure that out later on. Get that on. Andrew, what's your favorite basketball team? Because today we're covering the NBA.
yeah. So my favorite basketball team is, unfortunately, the Orlando Magic.
Oh, this is a big
Uh,
question.
The Orlando
so
Magic. How long have you been a Magic fan? Roughly.
since we moved here, so like 2001.
Yeah, so he's went through the struggle, being a Magic fan.
Yep, pretty much.
He's seen the lows, he's seen the highs, he's been through it
But I
Yeah,
have
all.
a doubt.
we
I have a question. I have a question.
yeah.
Of course.
Since apparently I go right off the bat. Since everybody apparently calls the team as, what made you what made you like the team? I mean, since you guys moved
So
here.
yeah, so we moved here from actually Detroit, or not Detroit, but like right outside Detroit, Michigan, and I was a Pistons fan when we lived there. Um, and then Grant Hill was our best player, and the Magic traded for Grant Hill like a couple months before we moved down here. So Grant Hill was my favorite player, so I like followed that, and then then I became a Magic fan when we moved down here. I didn't really go to too many NBA games before when we lived in Michigan, but we started going a lot more here, and I just got older and became a fan of the Magic.
Alright, cool, cool.
Okay, now our other guest today is my friend Caesar. I've been friends with him for I think about 7 years
What's
from high
up, my
school.
boy? Yes, sir.
That's Caesar in the bottom left corner. Caesar, introduce
Thank you for
yourself.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Well, yeah, me and Tyler, met on Xbox. We actually went to DP together. Very, very, very
Oh,
cool dude.
DP on the DP in the house.
Yes, sir.
DP,
Yes,
baby.
sir. But yeah, like we played 2K for a very, very long time. We're obviously the best players you know, on a little
Facts. Other than a
squad.
podcaster, I'm a pretty solid 2K player. I could say that.
Not just 2K. He's probably like, I'm gonna give him his prop. He's probably the best Call of Duty player that I've ever seen. Like that,
Oh
but
shit.
personally that I met, that I know, Tyler's definitely like up there. He definitely good at video games for real. I'd say I'm an all San Francisco team, so I like the Warriors and I like the Niners. Um, I don't care what nobody says. I've been a fan since 2012. It was because the game that Steph went off against the Magic. Before then, I was like, I'm not the Magic. I'm sorry, against the Knicks.
Oh, okay. I
When
was
he
like, of
dropped, yeah,
course.
when he dropped 52 in the Garden. Um, yeah. So before then, I was just a Kobe fan. But then, yep, started watching the Warriors ever since. I've taken a lot of heat from like 2016 from these two up here. Took a lot of heat, but we good. We good. We here standing. Appreciate y'all for having me. Let's get this going, man.
Yeah.
I will say, I'll start off
Cool.
where he just talked about being a Warriors fan. I remember the first time that me and him, we've had a lot of NBA debates over the years. They've kind of calmed down more. I feel as we both got older, we definitely matured. We don't go as hard in the debate as we used to be.
No,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
but back then, we were all in a group chat once, and he came in. And it was the Thunder series, Warriors Thunder, the first one. I think it was 2015. No, it was 2016.
Yeah, 2016.
2016, the Warriors Thunder, where the Thunder were up 3-2, and Klay Thompson had Game six, Klay Thompson, and this man came in the
Oh
party running
man.
his trap, dude. This man, I think Klay had like 40 or 30 or some shit like that game. He went, he was taking off,
To
and
to be fair, the only reason why I did that is because we had like this was when everybody was deep like watching the games together, and we had like 7 people just talking shit on the Warriors. Like there was not a single person cheering for the Everybody was cheering for the Thunder. Everybody was like praying for our downfall. So yeah, I had to run my mouth, but then we choked the 3-1 lead in the finals, and I had to hear that for like 3 years.
Still have to hear
So.
that.
that's never you're never gonna live that down, bro.
Well, I feel like it's calmed down because we won a ring without Kevin Durant.
True.
That's true. That definitely helps. That helps. You
But
guys got that win
yeah,
championship after that.
That's
Okay.
definitely the one flow.
So, couple things today. We'll talk first about. I just finished watching the Heat Celtics game. I don't think any of you guys were watching that. Jesus was actually watching that with me, so he's the only other one that can really talk about what went on in the game. Um, I'm a Heat, homer here, and I'm not going to be talking too much about them because I don't want to do that. I could talk an hour about them, but I'll just cover up the game. This is the second game this week against the Celtics that we played. The first one we did not have Jimmy Butler, who is obviously our best player. So this second game, he came back. He looked pretty healthy. Yeah, he was out 7 or 8 games with a knee issue, and he finished the game with 25 and 15, which is a pretty solid performance in his first game back.
Wait, that means that he had, wait, how many points he had? 25?
He had 25 points and 15 rebounds. Yeah, which is for 25 points is that's pretty average. That's not anything insane. 25 points is good for a first game back. It's a solid game. 15 rebounds for anyone who's not a center is always a lot, in my opinion. A center or power forward. He's a small forward, so that's a lot of rebounds also. The biggest thing that game I took away was Jason Tatum, who I think right now is arguably the MVP of the league so far. We're about 23 games into the season. He's averaging, I think, about 32 points a game. He had, going into the game, the Boston Celtics are the first seed in the East, and they're the best team in the league, statistics and numbers wise. He is the MVP so far for a reason. And he shot, I believe he shot, he had 14 points. He went 5-18. So he definitely had a struggled game. Obviously, Jimmy Butler had an impact on that. The reason why he struggled. But what I've seen in the previous Heat games against them is either Jason Tatum is the one that struggles or Jaylen Brown struggles. They don't really do too well at the same time against us because we throw out our best perimeter players on them, guarding them. So one of them usually struggles while the other one does really good. Which is, yes, last game, Jason Tatum had 49 against us. Jaylen Brown had a decent, solid game. But tonight it was all Jaylen Brown. He had 37. He hit the half-court shot to tie the game going into overtime. So it was a pretty good game. It was a good game for us. I thought it was overall good game by all the whole team. The bench struggled, but the 4 best players on our team produced, and we came out with the win. So I'm happy about it. Talking about Jason Tatum, I think, like I said, he's the MVP so far of the season. Do you guys have any opinion on that?
So, and you go ahead, man.
I just think, Tatum right now is probably the MVP. Their record is the best in the league. I think they're like 1 game up on the Bucks still, even though they both lost tonight. So, and I think he's playing the best. I think it's going to come down to between him and Luka this year. I mean, Steph has a chance. He's been hooping. But we'll see. I mean, if he keeps it up and they start playing a lot better as a team, I could see him for sure like jumping in there. Giannis, of course, but Giannis is running into the LeBron factor of things, in my opinion, where you have him be the best person in the league for 4 or 5 years in a row, and people kind of diminish what he does because they're so used to it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you put him in a random year and don't have a string like that, he's winning MVP. But I definitely think that they're kind of stale on him. So, I think Tatum. It's Tatum's right now again with the factor of the record and how he's playing. But I think it comes down to 3 or 4 people. At the end of the season, obviously health is a matter too.
As much as it pains me, man, I gotta agree. It is Tatum, just because of the simple fact that the MVP award is a narrative award, what fits the best story. So
Yeah.
now Tatum struggled in the finals against us, So now he's like on his revenge tour.
Mm-hmm.
He had something to prove. He's never won it before. He's 19 years old. That's like joke that they had for like years.
Yeah, literally.
But Giannis, Steph, LeBron, all these players that are like playing at elite level, they don't fit the narrative because like they do this all the time. Like Steph is averaging 32 points, shooting 50%, 40 and 90. That's like it's so hard. I think about like 5 players have done that, and Steph's like one of them that has done it. So this would be like his second time doing it. But since we're used to it, yeah, it's a narrative award, because it's the media votes for it, and they always give it to and most of the time they give it to the person with the best record on the team, even though the Celtics are pretty stacked. Um, but yeah, I would say Tatum, even though I think Steph having a better year.
And that's another thing too, is because with the Celtics, like we said, they have the best record so far in the league. And in going, I think it was like about 2 weeks before the season started, they had the whole Ime Udoka bullshit going on, where he got caught, whatever that whole situation was, where he got suspended for the whole season. And then you make a interim coach change, which I'm pretty sure he was the assistant coach at the time, who's the new coach. I don't know the name off the top of my head. Um, he literally
Very
looks
good
like Ime
coach.
Udoka. I'm not even gonna lie. They look kind of similar.
Yeah, they
They look very similar.
they look like they could be related for sure, cousins
Yeah,
or something.
but you could tell like the transition. I'm not taking away from this new interim coach, but you could tell that the chemistry of the team coming off the loss in the finals against Golden State, that they came out in a revengeful mindset. Tatum's having an MVP season so far. Jaylen Brown is playing more consistent, and that was always my thing with Jason Tatum. And I've told you too before that, is that Jason Tatum. I thought Jaylen Brown was better like last year against us because he was the most consistent one against the Heat. And then through the first 3 rounds, he was the most consistent one. Um, but I was just saying that my opinion on Tatum is if he hits the consistency, if he's giving you the 48, 49% shooting every single game, then he's by far the better player.
Yeah,
That was my biggest thing, is that he just needed the consistency. Because if you drop at 30 points and in the next game you go, 12, 14 points and you're shooting 5 of 23, like that's what, you got to be the consistent player to reach the highest level. And he's doing that so far. He had a bad game tonight, but he's literally still averaging, I think, over 30 points. So,
yeah.
not taking anything away from him. I watched him the game before, like I said, dropped 49 points. And I literally put on the Instagram that every time he hit a shot, I wanted to throw my fucking chair out the window, which was the truth. I did.
Yeah.
I was ready to throw everything in my room out the window because this man was scoring on the entire team.
So,
So, the Celtics, what were we saying?
I wanted to say like well, in that series, I think it was because like you guys mainly focused like your whole game plan, defensive game plan was get Tatum like off his rhythm.
Yeah.
Like especially when you have to see either Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo, or you guys had PJ Tucker last year, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so like when you're going off screens, you're either switching from Jimmy Butler to PJ Tucker or vice versa, like, and then you have to see Bam Adebayo in the paint.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing. Like the Heat is like mainly focused on defense, and I can't take that away. Like y'all had some like defensive anchors, and I think the main focus it was like the Nets series, how the Celtics did their whole game plan around Kevin Durant. So I feel like Tatum, that's what the Heat focus on. Obviously it didn't work because the Celtics, ended up moving
Yeah.
on.
Ended up winning. Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like Tatum just has to like he probably had to mature a little bit and like understand like that he's gonna be the main focus and he has to learn how to get in his rhythm. But definitely, I see him take a different step this year. He's different.
The thing that's crazy is if you think about it, Tyler brought up a good point about the whole coaching situation, and then you don't have a coach, a leader coach to like kind of talk you through the off season and everything like that, and kind of like start you off the season. So the leadership on the team definitely matured. So you have to think about like who is the true leader of the team, and I think it's got to be Tatum at this point because he, might not be necessarily the vocal leader. He could be, but he definitely went out there and proved that he was, going to be better in his side, and his game is going to be more consistent.
So I think that the Celtics, like, you have so many leaders on that team. Like it could be Marcus Smart one game, could be Jalen Brown another game, Al Horford because he's a veteran, and
Yeah.
obviously Jason Tatum. So it's like, I mean, they have a lot of savvy veterans,
Hmm.
which
But I think that's what helped them, go
yeah,
through that transition. A lot of teams aren't going to be able to go through losing their head coach 2 weeks before the season starts and, have the best record in the league. You know,
yeah, I
veteran
think
leadership and the leadership of the team as a whole, chemistry as a team as a whole. Tyler brought that up too. Coming off a loss, you know,
and then with the adding Malcolm Brogdon on the team,
A
huge get,
fire,
bro. Huge get,
fire,
bro.
fire underrated pickup, dude. I saw
dude.
he's always, I think, from like maybe the last 2 seasons on the Bucks, he's always been consistent. He gives you like the same thing every single game. He could give you 20, he could give you 15. He's always around that range. But he's just a solid player. He's a big point guard. He's solid. He can play great defense. He can play make. He can do anything.
And he
And
can shoot too.
having him with the veteran, because he's a veteran now. He's been in the league for I think about 6 or 7 seasons. He's a veteran now. So having him
Yeah,
off the bench, coming off the bench as a six man for the Celtics team, who lost to you guys in 6 games, that's a big pickup. That's a big pickup, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they had to rely too much on when
Brown or
Tatum and
Tatum going
Brown
back and
were
forth.
not on the floor. It was It was like a Derek White, Grant Williams show, and it's like,
And
bro,
Al Horford game
and
one where
Al
he hit like
Horford.
fucking seven
oh
threes.
my god,
Dude,
Yeah,
bro.
having
That
someone off the bench that can score is so, especially in those like minutes where you're not playing well, or the minutes where the stars are off the court. Huge get.
yeah.
I agree.
And then again with the Celtics, I was, one thing that I saw throughout last series, like last playoffs with us against them, I think that the games that we won, as much as it's gonna hurt me to say this, the games that we won, I felt like we won because they beat themselves. Because in my opinion, the talent on our team compared to their team is completely there's a big difference. Now, Jimmy Butler is good and Bam Adebayo is good. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown and like Marcus Smart as like a whole team, they're better than we are.
100%.
Like when they're on their A game, they're better than we are. And as a Heat fan, being a rival of the Celtics, I don't want to admit that, but I'm being 100% honest that they are better than us. Um, we have to be. You had to see Jimmy dropping 30 point, 40 point games for us to even be in the games. Like, and that only happened when Tatum was shooting bad or Brown was shooting bad, and they were turning the ball over 20 times a game. So the only reason why we were even in the series last year is because they were beating themselves, in my opinion. Um,
they were a
that's all.
big turnover team. They
Yeah,
just
they
turned the ball over
even the
so
game
much.
tonight, they turned the ball over 20 times. They turned it over. We did 16, they turned it over 20. So and it came down to a 4 point game. So that makes or breaks the game right there. Um, Anthony Davis. We talk about the Lakers next. Jesus, do you have anything to add? I know you watched the game a little
What
bit. Did
I
you see
mean,
anything?
yeah, maybe what I have to say is that I've seen a couple of the Heat games since the championship started, and I have to say this is the first game that I see that maybe their defense it was like on point. Maybe between the third and the fourth quarter, like the way how they were taking the ball and they were still on the ball, it was just maybe that's what little like maybe that's what really gave them the victory because I mean they were literally losing by like 10 points
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah,
whole like second quarter and the beginning of
yeah,
the third quarter. And them being able to take the ball very consistently back to back and being able to score also I think that's really what gave him the victory. But I have to say that out of all the Heat games that I've seen so far, this is the one that it has had me maybe the most. Mm, how can I say it?
defensive
Interested about
impact.
the
Oh,
result because I mean yeah, it was a very good game. It was a very good game, and I gotta give it. I'm always talking shit about the Heat because I like to get inside those nerves.
they all
Because I
do.
mean,
Don't worry, they all do. They
Yeah, I
all
know
do.
I
I
like
mean,
team. I
because I
know I
mean,
like
I mean, even he knows. Even he knows. I think that I'm not an expert, but I can. I'm not an expert, but I can tell that the Heat during the season they haven't been playing that well. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. No, you're
maybe
100% right.
they've played. Maybe they have played maybe like 15 games, and out of the 15, they have won maybe like 6 or 7. So I don't know if that's good or bad in the basketball field, but
Yeah.
to me that's pretty average. To me that's pretty like they're doing all right. They're not doing their best. But tonight they came out of the shell and they did their best, and I mean they saw the results. They won.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean
About
you hit the
time.
nail on the head right there with average. We have been average. Something I don't want to be in the NBA when you have the Boston Celtics and the fucking Bucks in our conference. You don't want to be average. You have to be better than those teams to get out of the East. Um, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the Lakers. So, I will say I'm gonna speak first here about the Lakers because I think I was the biggest critic about Anthony Davis going into the season. Um, I said that the man can't stay healthy, which I feel like a lot of the NBA fan base does say. The man can't. The man is a piece of glass. He falls on the ground, he's out the rest of the game, and a week after that. He's proving me wrong right now, which I love. I love when a player is proving me wrong. When I say some outrageous shit and I come out here and talk out of my ass and say this guy sucks, and then they go on a 6 or 7 game streak of proving me wrong. I'll be the first one to admit when I'm wrong. I will. Um, and yeah, he finished with what 44 tonight, I believe 44,
Yeah,
or was it? Yeah,
44 and 10
yeah, he
on like
finished with 44 and 10 against Giannis, who's arguably the other best power forward in the league right
didn't he shoot like
now.
18 of 27 too? He shot pretty efficient. 2 of
He
3
shot
from 3.
18 to 27. He gave you 44, 10, and 4 in 40 minutes. So he played. They didn't go to overtime, so he played 40 of the 48 minutes in the game. Um, and coming against the Bucks, who are the second best team in the league, probably, they came out with the win. So, do you guys have anything to say about Anthony Davis's performance tonight?
Well, in the last 9 games, the Lakers have gone 7-2, and
Have they really? They went 7-2.
last 9 games, and Anthony Davis averaging 32 points, 15 rebounds, shooting 61% from the field. That's incredibly hard, and 85% from the free throw line. No, this man is definitely making a case that everybody was wrong. I do not like the Lakers at all. I'm just sick and tired of hearing about the Lakers, especially last season because they were so bad. But Anthony Davis is definitely playing at an elite level, and a lot of people were saying he was washed, that he was just a one-hit wonder. You know,
Raise my
and
Tyler,
hand.
raise your hand.
That was me.
that
He's raising his hand.
if the Lakers are gonna be successful, he has to be the guy. And LeBron is at the age that
100%.
he's
This man's
still
spitting facts, bro. He's spitting facts. He's talking facts
he's
right now.
he's still LeBron. Of course, LeBron's LeBron. But AD has to be that guy. Like it's that time. So
They only
he
go as far as he takes them.
and when they won the championship in the bubble, AD was playing out of his mind.
Dude,
Yeah.
against us in the
He was
finals,
hitting
bro.
he was hitting some ridiculous shots, man. Some jumpers, some threes.
I remember when he hit the game winner against the Nuggets,
Yep.
and
Which let's talk about the Mitchell versus Murray Nuggets series in
Jazz
the
series.
bubble. That was wild, bro.
Dude, that was
They were
wild, bro. They were both
that
averaging like 35.
yeah, they were both absolutely just going off. That was wild.
Dude.
that felt like a rivalry. They
Yeah,
both
like
of
they
them
went
went
at
through
they were
alphabet
going at
games.
each other's throats. That was wild. It was crazy to see, man. It was a weird time for the country and the world with COVID, and like having the NBA like playoffs during like the middle of the summer was a cool like thing. Obviously, it wasn't because of the best circumstances, but it was a cool thing to be able to watch, man. It
And
was like one of the first big like sporting things back, and just being able to watch, like, it was weird. They did their best. There was no fans. It was weird, but and a lot of people say that, I'm a hater. I say that the Heat only performed well because of the bubble, because there was no people there. But at the same time, a championship is a championship, and they won a championship. So even if the AD
Lakers.
Lakers experiment doesn't, put out another championship, I think that a team will take that move and win one championship every time. I'm a big believer in, doing what you can to win a championship.
I
Dude,
agree.
Very much like the Rams, for football.
I mean, you saw with the Raptors, they made the franchise
Yeah,
move to trade
exactly.
DeMar
Yep.
DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. He left after they won the championship, but they still won the
Yep.
championship.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think any team, all 30 teams in the league, if you were guaranteed a championship, even if that star player was to leave the next year, I'm making that trade every time.
Yeah, 100%.
It brings in the excitement of the fans, and then you guys can suck ass for the next 20 years. It's fine. You still won that championship. So
Yep.
some teams don't have championships, so it's better that you have
Exactly.
one at least.
I don't really feel the same way, just because I've seen my team win so many times. But
Anyway, bro.
I would do that for the Niners. If I can see the Niners win one time my whole life, then okay, I agree in football. But basketball, I mean, seen them win 4 times. So
Derek, let me ask you a serious question based on your Warriors here. Okay, looking at how the team is looking for the future, because they won a championship last year, so they're still amazing. But the end of the road for the big three is on the horizon. I'm not saying it's close. I'm just saying, it is inevitably going to be here, sooner rather than later. So, do you think that using the pick to get Wiseman was the smart move, or would you have rather seen them trade for you know, another piece?
um, I mean, I can't say it wasn't a good move because that's literally what we need. We need a center. And I know Wiseman has been incredibly bad. First, he's been hurt. He barely played in college, and
Yeah, I
then
think he played
he
like
got
3
injured.
games.
Yeah, and then he lost his eligibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been hurt this whole time. Yeah, it's inevitable that the road is coming. I mean, I wish if there was one person that I really wanted to draft, I wanted Ant. That's the one dude that I wanted us to draft, but of course it didn't fall to us.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we should have picked Lamelo. I feel like we're good on the backcourt. I mean, it's just developing our young guys, which is
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
the biggest
so
thing. I think this is Draymond's last year. I don't think he's
yeah,
coming back.
I could see that.
So
I think the development of Poole has definitely rightened the ship a little bit. But I mean Moody's shown flashes of being good. He's super athletic. But I just think, I don't know, man. It's such a 3-point league now. Like, you need to have consistent 3-point shooters, and I mean Poole can do that. He's shown that, but I don't know who the other person is. I don't know if you guys have that person right now.
yeah, I was really disappointed that we didn't bring back Gary Payne. I was really disappointed we didn't bring back Otto Porter because during the not only the finals but the whole playoffs, like when we actually like needed like a bucket, it felt like Otto Porter was like automatic,
Yeah,
So
agreed.
I know, I mean, even though Steph is still playing out of his mind, I know Clay's time is ending, Draymond's time is ending. So I'm excited to see us. I honestly, I want us to like struggle after they're done, just because I want to be able to like see them grow again. Hopefully, to build another championship. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm a little iffy on Wiseman.
Yeah.
I haven't given up on him yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give up on a player when you haven't really seen a whole lot of him, and you used such a high draft pick on him. I feel you, bro. I'm the same way with, half my team, being a Magic fan. We wasted a top 10 pick on Mo Bamba, top 10 pick on Jonathan Isaac. It sucks, man. It sucks. And missing on those picks set you back years, man. Having the number 1 pick this year, we were fortunate enough. I didn't know who we were going to get. I kind of wanted Jabari, but I also, from day one, kind of said Paulo was the guy. I was on him pretty early, and he's turned out to be what he was advertised to be. He's really
Second
he's
best
really
player.
fucking good, man. The second best, like, I mean, if we want to get into the fucking rookie of the year, we can. I know that
Hold
was
on,
one of the
before
topics.
but that is one of the topics. But before we get into that, I'm gonna ask you two, who for your respective teams, who is one person that you would want to add to the team? So like I'm asking like what position do you need is to that your team needs to pick up to make you guys better to put you over the hump, or and Andrew, get you guys into the playoff hunt, or just one piece you want them to add.
All right, so you can go first.
Definitely a center or a good backup like shooting guard. We need like a pure scorer that's not a Jordan Poole because like when we run the second unit, it's like the whole offense is just Jordan Poole. And it's like he's kind of stalling because he has to dribble the whole shot clock, and it's not like a fluent offense. Like if we can have like a veteran scorer like come off the bench, I think we'll be solid. And Kevon Looney's good, but he's not gonna get any better. I feel like Kevon Looney.
Yeah.
You already know what you're gonna get with Kevon Looney. I feel like the Heat. I feel like the Heat in 2011 to 2014. If we get a
Yep.
center, I
Joel
feel like
Anthony, and
Birdman, yeah, Chris
Birdman.
Anderson.
Yep.
I feel like if we get a center, like it's over for the league.
Who would you guys want though? That's the thing. It's like what player? What like is you're not like you're not looking for a back to the basket center, are you? Or are you looking for someone who can
Well,
stretch the floor?
no, someone like at least like a deep mid range. I know
Like a
that's not
like a
really part of the
Vooch?
game. I feel like Vooch or like a Miles Turner.
Okay.
Sure.
So
I
like
feel like I
someone
feel
who
like
can score from the outside. I got you.
yes, and can play actual defense because that's one of Wiseman's biggest issues. Like he cannot guard the pick and roll. You put this man on a pick and roll, and he's gonna foul out. Like
Yeah.
I will
you
say
know,
that I've seen some highlights of Wiseman, and a lot of the Warriors fan base I know is not happy with the way he plays, and a lot of it is, in my opinion, is that he doesn't hustle. There was a lot of plays where I was seeing that he had like a 6'2", 6'3" guard behind him, but he was boxing out, and the guard was coming out with the rebound. And that's not something that should be happening when Wiseman is seven. He's 7 foot with a fucking 7 inch, 7 foot wingspan. I mean, 7 foot, 7 foot wingspan. Like you should not be getting out rebounded by a guard. And those are simple things that are just hustle. And it's not even a lack of skill or anything. He just he was a number 2 pick, right? Number 2
Number
pick,
3.
number
number
3.
three.
Yeah, being a number 3 pick, he's got to be out there hustling. He has a lot to prove. He can't just be out here saying, "Oh, I'm a top 3 pick. I don't have anything to prove."
Well,
He's
He,
got
he
to.
was number two. He was number two.
Yeah, I
If
thought
you
he was
put,
number 2.
I
you
actually,
catch
I
up on
actually,
LaMelo.
I actually, I agree with you for like him having to hustle, but your reasoning and my reasoning are backwards. I don't think I think he feels entitled because he was such a high pick,
That's what I was saying.
but I think that he needs to come in and realize that he's joining a championship
Yeah,
dynasty. And because you're the third pick in the league doesn't mean that you're gonna earn anything minutes wise, rotation wise. You have Draymond Green on the team. Draymond Green doesn't fuck with that. He Steph doesn't fuck with that. They're too um focused and know how to win clearly, that they're not going to put up with that. So I think that's where it really comes with.
Well,
I
I
agree.
thought the biggest thing going into the season is that he probably thought, because he was out last year and he played the beginning and then he got hurt, that he was just going to come in, he was going to start, he was going to get the minutes.
Yeah.
But I think
Hmm.
that now that he got sent down to the G League after playing, pretty bad stretch of games, that he's probably realized by now that he has to earn minutes in the game. He's not just
Yeah.
going to get thrown out there. He's playing, like you said, for a championship team who they're a dynasty. They won 2 years, 3 years of not winning, but they can flip it just like that. We know they are capable of doing that. So
And I feel like that's also the same problem with Jonathan Kaminga. Because Kaminga has been shown that he has attitude problems. That's why he's been in and out of the rotation. I guess he's not really happy with this playing time or anything, but I feel like they just have to understand that bigger picture, man. We're trying to win rings out here. Like the time gonna come, but you just got to
no,
be patient. I
And
feel
then,
like
and the sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and the thing that sucks is because Steph and his group bought into that. That's I feel like that's what they bought into, that mentality, and it sucks because you had two back. Like the fact that you guys were still a solid team and like had those players and still got the 3rd pick and then the 7th pick in the draft is like a huge move from the GM. So you guys got talented pieces to kind of replace Steph and Clay when they're done, and they're just not buying into it. They have to realize that sitting on the bench for 2 or 3 years and learning from some of the best players of the decade, will teach you a lot more than like you don't know anything when you come into the league. You know how to play basketball, but you don't know the work and all that. Like I don't know. It sucks to see that.
I feel like when you buy, but when you come into a team that's like a championship team and like you buying off rip, like then when that time passes, like you're already set because you know what it takes to win. So,
Exactly.
but I get it. People want to earn their money. That's what's most important to them. So they feel like
Yeah.
they need to play recognition and all that. So I understand to both points, but as a fan, I need you to to win.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Andrew, yeah, Maria has a good point. You have to. We're going up to you next. Who do you think the Magic need to pick up? What do you want to see from anyone on your team? Do you want a player gone? I forgot to ask Caesar this. Did you want anyone gone that you think if you get rid of in a package to bring someone else in? Like, just any moves your team wants to make that you want them to make?
Get your Michael Green out of here. That's it.
Yeah, Michael Green, isn't he? This is his first season with you guys, right?
And it's his last. You gotta go.
His last, bro.
Dude.
That's hilarious. All right. So for me, my situation is obviously a lot more drastic and different than Caesar's because my team hasn't won a championship ever. So, and we're in the middle of our 10th year of a rebuild, which is annoying. 11th year of a rebuild, technically. So, I think we have a solid foundation to build around. But my problem with the team so far this year is not they don't know how to win. They don't know how to win basketball games. They don't know how to win those close games. They play hard the whole game. They won't get blown out. They'll lose by 8, you know, 5, keep it close or whatever. They'll be getting killed and then they'll come back. But I think we need a solid either 4 or a solid point guard to like run the team because I think we have Paulo. Franz is amazing off the cuts. We have the talent. Wendell Carter Jr. when he's healthy. I'm dead.
Sorry.
No, I was reading the chat. That's funny.
Yeah, me too.
But what was I saying? So yeah, so I think that we probably need a 4 or a point guard. I don't think we should have Mo Bamba. Okay, the thing is we have 5 guards and all of them we have 6 guards technically and all of them like no one's like showing out. Fultz has been hurt, Cole's been hurt, Suggs has been hurt. So it's just annoying because we don't really know like if any of them are going to be the person. And then RJ Hampton's getting no PT, and I really believe in RJ Hampton, but he's not getting any playing time. So I think his time is limited. So I think honestly, our projection is to get that Scoot dude from the number 2 overall draft pick behind Victor in the next draft, and he's a point guard. He's an offensive point guard. So that'd be interesting to see. But if we do that, that means we're moving off of Cole most likely and Fultz most likely.
So do you feel like you guys need a veteran on the team?
Dude, honestly, I think we're like a couple pieces away from needing like a solid veteran. I mean, we have Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross is kind of the veteran on the team. He he's not like, by any means like a I don't. He might make the Hall of Fame. I doubt it, but like he's not a Hall of Fame veteran, but he is a solid veteran. But like I just think we're like two or three ones. I think we're one superstar and like two solid pieces away from being in contention for real for a playoff spot. I mean, I don't think anybody's winning the championship in the next like 5 years in the East besides the Bucks and the Celtics.
What do you
Wait,
Tyler?
so
Tyler,
so
Tyler, what do you have that reaction?
I mean, that's a
Because
pretty.
because Tyler's uh whole like thought process, and it's paid out in the past, but his whole thought process is that Pat Riley will make a move to fix whatever issues during the season, and then some free agent will sign in the off season to make his team better. So he's banking on that.
No, first, I mean
Yes.
that's accurate in terms of my viewpoint towards the Heat, but
Yeah.
I don't agree that the only championship teams in the East are the Bucks and the Celtics. I think maybe this season it might be the Bucks or the Celtics, but I think that the Cavaliers are right there in probably the next year or two. You get Garland maybe one or two. Garland's already an all-star, as he was last year. Was the second season or third?
he was
Garland.
no, it was I think it was his second season.
Yeah, so he's in his third season now. He's gonna keep getting better. Donovan Mitchell's Donovan Mitchell. He's gonna give you what he gives you, and they have a solid team around them. I think they're a piece away from a championship.
I
If
think they got all the pieces.
yeah, you can make a debate. I think they at most one piece. I could see them coming out of the East this year too. It all depends. It
Well, that's
depends.
the thing.
They're not really experienced aside of Mitchell. That's the thing. They're not
Exactly,
experienced.
exactly. So who's that leader? Is Mitchell ready to be that guy?
Well, you
Kevin
saw him in the
Love.
West, bro. He was battling out there in the West. He was on a
Right.
sorry Utah team that he was
Yeah.
winning them 50 games a season with a center who gets outplayed and can't be
Dude.
on the court in the playoffs.
We got to talk
So-
about that trade.
Yeah, we will talk about that trade. So now you're bringing him over to the East where the competition. I mean, the East is getting better. I'm not going to say the East is weak.
Yeah.
The East is a lot better than it used to be, but the West is a different beast. The Western Conference is a different beast. You have teams in there. 6 or 7 teams are winning 50 games. You get like maybe 4 teams in the East that win 50 games, and then the rest are floating around the 46, 47 range.
And then floating around like the 12, 13 range.
Yeah, that's floating around the 12 to 15, dude.
I actually think that the East is better than the West this year.
Yeah, you can make the argument. It's it's the first quarter of the season, but well, my whole point is that the East is getting better than it used to be, which was for a long time it was West just killing the East every single season.
Definitely.
So the East is definitely getting up there. Jesus, you want to add anything to this? This is kind of
No, not really, because this is
the learning factor. This is why I
this is
wanted
a
to.
this is a uncharted territory, because I don't know that
Yeah.
many basketball players. Of course, I mean everybody knows the usual,
Yeah.
but the usual names, but I don't know anybody who you guys have named so far, and but that's what this is about, right?
Listen, yeah. There's the
Learn,
whole idea.
learn a little bit more about basketball. And to be honest to you, I think the last couple months, it's funny because I was telling Tyler, I think I told this to him yesterday, but also today. I've been learning more about basketball to some Bad Bunny lyrics than from him. But
That's
'cause
hilarious.
this guy, because
Didn't tell
this
me
guy,
that.
this because this guy on his lyrics, he keeps naming basketball players. Like in the most recent song that he dropped, he named Luca, because the he says Luca step back, and then he says La Jumpa. So I had to research, like, to know what the fuck that was. So I learned who Luca was, and that his most um um the move that he uses the most, step back.
The
He
step
takes the
back,
ball.
yeah.
Yeah, he takes the ball. He does a step back, and then
The
he
Lucas
shoots.
step back, man.
Yeah. So then, I had to tell Tyler. I mean, who's this fucker? And it's funny because then I think it was yesterday. Yesterday he played. I mean, his team played with
Yeah. Yeah.
with another team, and they lost. They ended up losing, but he was hooping. He was
Yeah.
hooping. He was doing his shit. He was shooting the ball and doing the step backs.
He also, in that song, he mentioned Damian Lillard too, and Jesus didn't know who Damian Lillard was. So I showed him the most iconic Damian Lillard play of his career, the 3-1 bye-bye buzzer beater at the end of the game. That he said something about a Damian Lillard buzzer beater or
Yeah,
something, which I
yeah.
already knew what he was referring to. So I showed him the clip. He saw who Damian Lillard is. So little by little, he's learning. He knows
Who
more than he did this time fucking last year. I already know that for a fact.
Pretty
And
much, pretty
this
much.
is
Now,
motivating.
I do have
who's
a
the
question.
artist?
Huh?
Who's the artist?
Bad Bunny.
Oh,
Yeah.
Benito.
I, I,
Benito.
Yeah,
now I do
Benito.
have a
Yeah.
question. I do have a question. I saw this tonight doing the referees and the coaches. They were doing this movement, and I was telling Tyler on the phone, Tyler, what the fuck does that mean? Of course, he didn't. He didn't understand what I was saying because he didn't see me doing it. But they were doing like this.
Oh,
Travel.
that's
That's
travel.
the
Like what the
travel.
fuck?
Travel.
I was like, what the fuck does that
Yeah.
mean? Uh,
Dude, he didn't tell
And
me that. He
what?
said they
What
were
does that mean?
crossing their arms. So I was envisioning in my
It means
mind that
I
he
was
was
like,
travel.
dude,
it's like
they're like spinning
dude,
their arms around, like doing this shit. What the fuck does that mean?
dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it means
travel. They've
travel.
been calling that the thing about the NBA is they don't usually call those that much. And I don't know what the hell they're doing this year because going into this season they're calling carries every single time they do it. They're calling travels. Like they're actually calling the game how it should be called. I mean, I
Yep.
agree. If you're traveling and carrying, you need to be called on it. The whole league does. Don't do it where one team's getting called and the other team's not. That's when fans get mad. If you're gonna call it against the Heat, call it against whoever the Heat are playing. That way, it's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has a problem with them like calling that stuff. I don't, at least, in my opinion.
No, I
Agreed.
think it's good. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so another topic is rookie of the year. Like I said, it's 22 games into the season. It's very early, but I think it's a two-man race right now. I think it's a
Oh, for
two-man race.
sure.
Two-man race. I don't think anyone else is in this discussion. Who's the third best rookie? Jabari Smith. I don't even know
No,
who.
I
Maybe
think
Jaden Ivey.
yeah, it's probably Ivy.
Jaden Ivey. Yeah. I see. Speaking of Jaden Ivey, I see a lot of John Morant in him. A lot of John Morant. I
Yep,
was watching that
athletic.
game yesterday. This is the first time I watched the Pistons this season, so I haven't watched him that much. He moves and plays just like John Morant does.
Yeah,
He's like the same frame. He does the same moves. He just has the same flow as John Morant does,
yeah, he's
which is
springy.
actually fire to see.
He's springy for sure.
Yeah. So the rookie of the year
Benedict.
race is what were you saying, Caesar?
I was just saying Benedict Martin.
Benedict. That's your pick so far?
Oh, sticking by him. I picked him up on fantasy this year.
Oh man.
Dude, he
All
said
right,
he said it,
so
he said he was better than LeBron. I gotta believe the man.
dude, he did say that. He said LeBron had to beat him for him to say that he's better than him or some shit like that.
Dude,
Yeah. So the race
absolutely
is
wild, bro. Like, come on, bro. Wild.
that's how you get your name in discussions, bro. LeBron knew his name instantly as soon as he said that shit.
Dude, and then LeBron fucking didn't he like destroy him? No, I mean they lost the game, but I'm pretty sure he fucking hooped.
No. I think he outplayed him.
No shot, he outplayed him.
All right, so I'm gonna name the two rookies right now. Benedict Mathurin and the other one is Paulo Banchero. Those are the two, in my opinion, that are in the race for rookie of the year. Paulo's averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and he's shooting 47% from the field. Benedict is averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and he's shooting 43% from the field.
Now, when you talk about rookie of the year, you mean like players who are just like starting right now
Yeah,
on the
so
league?
rookie of the year, when you get drafted, your first season is your rookie season. So anyone whose first season is this year, they have a chance to win rookie of the year. Usually in the past, the people who win the rookie of the year are the people who are the top picks, like around there. The top 3 picks are usually the favors to win rookie of the year. Every once in a while, you'll get someone around 7, 8, maybe like 11. It rarely happens, but you'll get someone around that area who is competing for rookie of the year. But usually, it's the top 3 picks that win it. And then Paulo, who I named, he was the number 1 pick. He's the guy the Magic drafted. Right now, the Pacers have a better record. So if they base it off rookie of the year to the record wise, which I don't agree with, I don't think that record matters because if you're a rookie, usually you're getting drafted to a pretty bad team. The the first usually unless you make a trade like with another team and you end up getting the pick, the team that is pretty bad that has the first pick. But right now the Pacers are 12-9, the Orlando Magic are 5-18. So there's a big difference. Benedict is leading to winning basketball, and Paulo's not. But it has nothing to take from Paulo because he's also hurt, so they missed a decent amount of games. And the Magic team entirely is dealing with a lot of injuries too. So it's different circumstances. Based off the play, in my opinion, I think Paulo right now is favored to win Rookie of the Year. Caesar, what's your opinion?
So I don't really like. We see the numbers, and obviously you're gonna think that Paulo is the better player. But I just want to add to the fact that Benedict does not start and plays way less minutes than Paulo. So I feel like his averaging 19 points per game, off the bench. If I'm not mistaken, like Tyler Hero won Sixth Man of the Year, averaging 20 points a game. So you coming in as a rookie, you off the bench and you dropping 20 points a game, and your team is winning, and like your team is supposed to suck. Yeah, y'all got rid of your two best players, the Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon. I know he's not as efficient, but Paulo does play a lot more back to the basket. He's a bigger guy, but I think it's closer than people might think. I think Benedict is definitely leading because he hasn't missed any games. So Paulo has missed the most games. So of course his stats are a little bit more inflated because he's played less. Not saying that Paulo's not a dog, because that man he's showing superstar potential.
Yeah.
But I'm letting you know that Benedict, he was in the top top 5 pick, if I'm not mistaken.
He's number 6.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
number
close
6.
enough. Yep.
So I'm just saying, don't sleep on him.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm not sleeping on him for sure.
I'm not either. I mean,
But
if you come out averaging 19 points, you can't get slept on. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, 100%. But I think that it's so hard to overtake the number 1 overall pick for Rookie of the Year if the number 1 overall pick is playing well. If that makes sense.
No, that makes
You just get like so much more boost because you're the number 1 overall pick. There's hype around you. People
You're
are
leading up
talking
to your
about you.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's. I mean, unless Paulo. I mean, if Paulo gets hurt again and misses, if he misses, 30 games this year, then I don't think he wins. I don't think he overcomes that. But if he stays healthy, continues to do what he's doing, I think he's got it. I mean, Anthony Simons is averaging 23.8 points a game. That's wild. I know that's a side discussion. Sorry.
No, that's fine. There's nothing. Like I said, when we went into this podcast, just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. There's no podcast, in my opinion. You should just it just free ball it, and then you get to the better debates. You get good deep discussions, and there's nothing wrong with that.
In my head, I was like, wait a minute, he's a rookie?
No. Dude. He is nasty. Anthony Simons is the man, dude.
Isn't he from Orlando?
Yeah, I think he went to TFA, or not TFA, the other one.
Really? Damn.
Mount Bird?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mount Bird.
That's where D'Lo and Ben Simmons went.
Yeah.
Those dudes recruit people from like different countries.
Oh no, sorry. He went to IMG. He went to
IMG?
Edgewater.
Okay.
All right, let's do 3 teams surprised. Andrew, who are your 3 most surprised teams so far?
Okay, I think that everybody's like first surprise team, in my opinion, is Utah. I think that they're outperforming expectations already. They're 13-11, but everybody thought that they would be pretty bad. They traded their two best players and got a bunch of, in my opinion, a bunch of mid-tier players and a bunch of draft picks. And Laurie Marketing has been playing very well. Colin Sexton's been playing pretty good. So I just think that they're my first surprise team. And then my second surprise team is going to be Sacramento. Sacramento seems to kind of have found a groove, and they're finally kind of putting things together. De'Aaron Fox has been playing out of his mind. Kevin Herter's also been playing very well. So I think they're my number 2 surprise team. And then my number 3 surprising team, honestly, it might be OKC, to be honest. Now, OKC only has 9 wins, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been playing, all-star level for sure, possibly all NBA level basketball. Their team is pretty bad. They got the second pick, and it was Chet, and he got hurt, so he's out for the year. So we know that. But I think those are my 3 surprising teams that are kind of overperforming and outperforming expectations so far.
Okay, and who are your 3 disappointed teams?
The Mavs. The Mavs have been playing some disappointing basketball so far. I think I think the Nets have been playing kind of disappointing basketball, even though they have 13 wins. I don't know. They're kind of a weird team. They've been playing some disappointing basketball, and
It's a tough one.
yeah, I'd probably say Golden State, but Golden State's kind of turned it around lately. They started off pretty bad. They lost a solid amount of games. They're definitely playing better now, but definitely, winning the championship last year and then starting the season 11-11 is probably not like what was expected of them. Not saying that they're going to be bad or not turn it around. There's definitely plenty of time, but I think that those 3 were the most disappointing so far.
Okay, how about you, Caesar?
I'm gonna agree with Andrew with a couple teams like the Kings and the Jazz. First of all, it's Sacramento. Like nobody expects Sacramento to do good ever. Like I don't think they've made the playoffs ever since they played the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. It's like they have the longest streak of not making the playoffs in the NBA. But let's see if they can continue. I don't expect this to continue, but I know that De'Aaron Fox is having an incredible year. They also got Sabonis playing really well. Keegan Murray, still like waiting to see his potential. I would say the Jazz, of course, because they traded the 2 best players, and Laurie Marketing, who has been known as kind of like a bust, ever since he left. I know he got drafted, if I'm not mistaken, to Chicago, and he was really good in Chicago. And then after that, he like pretty much went downhill. But for my like most surprising team, I would say the Pacers. Like your best player is Halliburton, and then but you got Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. Like those are decent names, but that's not a 4th seed in the East.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's definitely surprising. They got the rookie of the year in the team too, so can't be too mad at that. Disappointed teams. I would say us. I'm not gonna lie. I've been so disappointed us this season, especially because we were so good at defense last year, and we started the year off 0-7 on the road. Like, there's no way that we should be 0-7 on the road just coming off of a championship. I know, we've had a lot of drama with Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole. He's been a disappointment this year. He just got paid, and I think he should be playing way more better than he has. But definitely got time. I think the Heat are also a disappointing team. No offense, Tyler, but y'all just went to the
Oh, don't
Eastern.
worry, they're on my list too, buddy. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
y'all in the Eastern Conference Finals. I expect. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like we keep talking about Bam Adebayo. When is he gonna take that leap? When you gonna take that extra step? Jimmy getting a little bit old. He's on. I don't know how long he got on his contract. I'm pretty sure it's not that much. He doesn't have that much time left on his contract. So it's time that Bam Adebayo gotta be that guy. The first couple games he played very very soft. Like you out here, you want to shoot, fine, but back up to the basket. Like you're supposed to have a physical presence. I think you guys have to make a move. I think Duncan Robinson got to go.
Amen.
Um, he's not playing no defense, and
Amen.
he's a great shooter, but you got to make the shots, man.
Yeah.
The title of the great shooter got to stick, And then I would definitely say like the Lakers. I don't care. Like what, like who you got on the team. Like you got LeBron, you got AD. There's no way you're missing. You should be missing like on track to miss the playoffs. That should not happen. And you got Russell Westbrook on the team. I like it. That's at the end of the day, there's gonna be disappointment regardless. But I would say those are my top three most surprising and top three most disappointing teams.
Okay, I'm gonna start with disappointing teams first, and then I'll go to my most surprised teams. My first disappointed team so far is the Chicago Bulls. I think they had, what were they last year? They were like the fourth seed, I believe, fourth or fifth. They played the Bucks, I think, in the first round. They lost. Um, DeMar was having the best season of his career. Zach LaVine was giving you what Zach LaVine gives you, and then they were dealing with the Lonzo Ball injury, and that was going on for half of last season. And by the time this season started, they thought they were going to have Lonzo Ball back, and then a report comes out that he's nowhere near ready to go for this season. So they're going into this season without Lonzo Ball again, who is an elite defender. He's an elite perimeter defender, very good playmaker, and he's a very good piece to have for that team.
They, not to interrupt you, they just said that he's like not anywhere near ready, right? Like a day or two ago.
I didn't hear that, but I heard that
Yeah,
like a month ago. So I
no,
knew that he's not anywhere near ready. Yeah.
I think they like just came out and said that like super recently too.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
So
saw what they.
he's not coming back till at least the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Sad.
And I saw what they did because they were smart. They knew Lonzo wasn't going to be there, so they picked up Goran Dragic, who's he's a solid veteran point guard to have on your team. He's not supposed to at this point in his career. He's not supposed to be your starter, but he's someone that you could start um, until Lonzo Ball comes back. Scrap the team, better tank. What team are you talking about, Malik? Um, yeah, so I think Chicago's pretty disappointing. They have Drummond. Drummond was playing solid for them the first couple games, but I think Zach LaVine needs to try to stay healthy, which has always been his biggest issue in his career. Um, and then DeMar needs to try to get back to that level that he was playing last season. That's my first surprise team. Disappointed team. Um, my second disappointed team is the same team Caesar said, the Miami Heat. My whole issue with the Miami Heat going into the season is that you were 4 points away from going to the finals last year, and you made absolutely no moves to improve your team. You cannot run it back. We this isn't the same Miami Heat team fucking from 2012, 2013 where you had LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade on your team, where you had the talent to get you to the finals. You have a solid team, you have solid players, but you can't keep running stuff back. That doesn't work anymore in this day and age.
Yeah,
When I saw the Boston Celtics got Brogdon for what they got Brogdon for, and they didn't trade Jaylen Brown, they didn't trade Jason Tatum, and they kept Marcus Smart. That I'm sitting there as a Heat fan, the team that just lost to them in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like we literally lost PJ Tucker for nothing. We didn't gain anyone back. We let him go in free agency. We drafted Nikola Jovic, who is a 19-year-old. He looks like he has potential, but he's getting no minutes for some reason. And we're playing Caleb Martin, who's a 6'5" guard at the power forward. A team we're already undersized at because our center is fucking 6'10". So I think since 2020 when we played the Lakers in the bubble and they had Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis going against us, and then last year we had Al Horford and Robert Williams, two big men that it's not going to work. It can only beat so many teams, but going to get you to the finals, and in the finals, you need a good tall power forward and a good tall center. You need that. Um, Tyler Hero going to he's playing up so far. I think he's playing up to his contract. He did get paid a decent amount, but looking at what RJ Barrett got paid, looking at Jordan Poole got paid, they all are in the same discussion. They're all around the same age. They're always throwing out the fucking who are you gonna take, Hero, RJ, or Poole. That's the three. Yeah, yeah. One has a ring, the rest of them don't. I know that. Um, but they're always throwing out who of those three you're gonna pick. I think Hero so far is playing the best, but Hero's also missed games, so that's why his average is it goes up and down faster, and if he plays good, it's gonna go up more because he's missed the game. Um, so I'm very happy with the way Bam's playing the last 10 games. He's putting up, he had 28 tonight, 27 points against the Celtics. We just beat them, so that's a good performance. Jimmy gives you what Jimmy gives you. I just think we need to make a move for a starting power forward, and we need to make another move for a shot creator off the bench. And I don't want that to be Oladipo because he's going to come back. God knows when he'll come back, but he's never going to be healthy. He's never healthy, and we can't rely on him so much to be that guy as just the acquisition because he's on the bench. Um, we need to get another shot creator, another power forward, and I would feel more comfortable. I want a Miles Turner, to be honest with you. Move Miles Turner to center, put Bam at the 4. That would be my good front court in my opinion. Um, so that's my second team, the Miami Heat, and then my third team I would say is disappointing so far. I would probably say the Lakers. Um, they have Anthony Davis, they have LeBron James, obviously. Uh, the whole season last year was a complete disgrace by them. They were trolling Russell Westbrook. All LA hates Russell Westbrook going into the season. You have the trade reports from the middle of last year about them getting rid of Russell Westbrook. Everyone's expecting a Russell Westbrook trade, and then you don't trade Russell Westbrook. And I've seen some trades out there that they could have had Buddy Hield, they could have had Miles Turner, and all they had to do was give a pick, and they weren't willing to do that. They, in my opinion, messed up by not getting rid of Russell Westbrook. I think he's starting to play better off the bench now, so I think maybe he's boosting his value a little bit, which might help them in the long run. But I think if they get another Russell Westbrook trade package where they get a shooter back, and then maybe another big, uh, they have the guards, in my opinion. They have Dennis Schroeder. He's a solid guard. They have Pat Beverly. That's another solid veteran guard. You already have LeBron and AD. You need to fill around him with shooters. The success, the way LeBron needs a team created is to have shooting around him. Um, and I think they need more shooters. So if you could package Russell Westbrook and get like they always say, Buddy Hield, or Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, and you get rid of Russell Westbrook and 2 first rounders, then do it. Then do it. Get rid of Russell Westbrook, get 2 first rounders out of there, get Buddy Hield, and get Miles Turner, and put a team around LeBron and AD where they can win a championship again because they're missing the role players, not the 2 stars.
Real quick, since you're on the topic on trading Russell Westbrook, I seen earlier on Twitter. I was looking, scrolling through Twitter, and I seen that there was reports of that the Lakers were trying to cook up a trade with Russell Westbrook and 2 first-round picks to the Bulls for DeMar DeRozan and Vuce
Yeah, I
and
saw that too.
Vucevic. So how would you see the trade fitting and working for both teams?
I don't think that trade would work. I think the Vooch aspect of that trade would work, but I don't think DeMar DeRozan fits with them because DeMar DeRozan is literally, in my opinion, him and Russell Westbrook. They're not, they don't have the same height, but I think that DeMar is another guy who needs the ball in his hands, um, to be effective. And DeMar DeRozan, statistically, he underperforms in the playoffs like Russell Westbrook does. So in my opinion, if I was the Lakers management, I would, like I said, try to package a trade around Russell Westbrook to get shooters that can perform in the playoffs. Um, I just don't. I think the fit would be too awkward with DeMar DeRozan, LeBron, and AD. LeBron needs the ball in his hands, and if LeBron doesn't have the ball in his hands, it's fine because he can do other stuff. But you'd have to guarantee me that DeMar DeRozan's playing how he did last year, and in the playoffs he didn't play good either. So
But wouldn't you say that if he's playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis, so he doesn't have to carry that much of an offensive role, so he would have as much pressure? And I mean, he might like perform good in case, like Wiggins.
You can make that argument, but they said the same thing about Russell Westbrook when he got traded there. They wanted. I think they wanted LeBron not to. As a Lakers mindset, I'm assuming was they didn't want LeBron to have the ball in his hands every single play because he's getting older. They wanted another playmaking guy out there who could play make at a higher level. But you could see that with Russell Westbrook on the team, the fit was not good. The fit was never good with them three. They had to move. They had to move him to the bench, and now he's finally playing. He's not giving you what he used to give you, but he's playing a lot better that he's on the bench now. I just don't think the fit of DeMar DeRozan and LeBron it would ever work. I don't think it would.
Okay, I just want to add that Jordan Poole is going off, but
And how many points does he have?
Before we go to your most surprising teams, your boy Malik is going to be upset when he gets even more fleeced with the Vucevic trade, because the Magic already won that easily, and they
Malik,
still
he's
have.
not Malik's a KD fan. He's a Nets fan.
He said Bulls.
No, he was talking about the Bulls. Oh, okay. No, I think you're
Yeah.
talking as if he was a net Bulls fan.
Oh,
He's
I
a
thought he
Durant.
was a Bulls fan. He's not a Bulls fan.
No, he's a
Okay.
Durant
Damn.
fan. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so we can still bring it up. The Magic fleeced the Bulls on that trade.
Oh, by far, yeah, by far.
Vucevic for Wendell Carter and 2 first-round picks, and one of them is already Franz, and then the other one is going to be hopefully a top 10.
Here's a hot take right here. The
Okay.
Magic also fleeced the Nuggets for Bol.
100%.
You traded
and
Aaron
RJ
Gordon.
Hampton.
We got
Yeah,
Aaron
you
Gordon,
traded
a pick, a first-round pick, and Bol and RJ Hampton.
Dude, I'm more excited with the way Bol's playing than I ever was when I saw Aaron Gordon in a Magic uniform.
Oh, 100%.
And I've seen him have some solid games against us. And I've seen him have like the 30-point games like once or twice against us. And I'm more excited with the potential of a 7-2 fucking guy who moves like a point guard.
Yeah.
So,
Bol's a freaking nature.
Yeah, I'm mad because we drafted him, but we drafted him with an agreement we were going to trade him, which sucks.
Yeah.
I was so happy for like a minute, and then I saw he got traded, and I was so upset.
Boy.
Yeah, boy, dude. My 3 surprise teams, I would say number 1's the Cavs. I thought the Cavs were going to be good. I didn't think they were going to mesh this fast, and they had Darius Garland out for a significant part of the first part of the season so far.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, like I was saying earlier in the podcast, had that same issue to me that Jason Tatum had, where they give you what they give you, but they just need to up the efficiency. And I think Donovan Mitchell has upped the efficiency, and he's giving you 30 points a game. So he's doing it on all three levels.
He was killing it tonight. He didn't miss, man. He was playing the Magic for sure, but he was efficient. He was killing it.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be an all-star so far into the season. And they have a solid team. They have Karis LeVert, they have Isaac Okoro, Darius Garland, they have Ricky Rubio, who's hurt, who they're going to bring off the bench whenever he comes back. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Who else do they have on their team? That's a solid lineup right there. Solid young lineup. And I would consider Donovan Mitchell to be a veteran. He has the playoff experience, and he doesn't have Rudy Gobert anymore, which apparently they didn't like each other. So now he has another center that can rim protect, but this guy doesn't get outplayed, and he doesn't get played into the bench in the playoffs. He can actually stay on the court. That's my first surprise, the Cavs. The Pacers are my second surprise. As Caesar said earlier, they traded their 2 best players, and no one expected them to be in the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference right now. I don't think they're gonna sustain that. I think that they started off hot. I think as the season goes on, because of the lack of talent they have, that they're gonna eventually come back down to earth. Maybe they'll be like a 10th or 11th seed. They might be a play-in. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be a top 4 seed. And another surprise team, I would say it's not really a surprise team, but I'm going to put the Pelicans on here. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. I'm going to put the Suns. I'm putting the Suns because they had a lot of free agency rumors where DeAndre Ayton was going to leave that team, and going into the season, he did not look like he wanted anything to be a part of that team. And they got absolutely destroyed in the playoffs by Luka Doncic. It looked like going into the season that they were just done. They had no chemistry. It looked like they were going back to square one. Um, and they're 15-7. They're first in the West, like they've been the last 3 seasons. They've been first in the West. Um, Devin Booker had 51 points yesterday in fucking 3 quarters. Didn't play any minute of the fourth quarter. As an NBA fan, I get mad at that because I've seen him do that. I've seen Klay Thompson do that. Klay Thompson's had many 50-point games, I think. A couple of like 50-point games where they literally don't play him in the fourth quarter. Like as NBA fans, we want to see people get 70 points. We want to see them get 75, 80 points, try to pass Kobe Bryant because he was the only one in recent years who dropped 8. He was 81. And Devin Booker was 70. He was the second closest that I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, but he dropped 70 in a loss, so that
Dude, they
really
got blown out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He dropped 70, and then he came and dropped 51. So he in a whole quarter he could have dropped. And then I'm pretty sure you told me he didn't even have a point in the first half of the first quarter.
No, yeah, he didn't make a shot until the first half or after halfway through the first quarter. So he really played 2.5 quarters.
Shot Brian's in here telling me to kill the cat, dude. Fuck you! I'm about to ban you. I'm not killing my cat.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I have to disagree with you. I don't think you should be surprised the Suns if they've been the top seed.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that too.
Well, I think that a playoff loss like they just had, and the fact that the chemistry was so bad with DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I'm not saying they weren't going to be a good team, but I didn't think that they were going to come back and look like they did last year going into the regular season.
What up, Brian?
Like
how much of that do you think is Monty Williams?
Well,
what's up, Brian?
I mean, Monty Williams is a good coach. He is a very good coach. Devin Booker's Devin Booker. But Ayton was my biggest question mark for them. He's always been the biggest question mark for them.
Yeah.
But like I said, the chemistry with their second best player coming back being a question mark, and the first interview they had, he literally was like giving them this like two-worded answers. They were asking, "Are you happy to be back in Phoenix?" He's like, "What does it look like?" That was his answer.
Yeah.
Like he was saying shit like that. It makes you think, what is it? Where is this guy's mind? It took him so long to sign a contract because I thought they were working on a trade to get him to the Nets for Kevin Durant because that was the rumor around that time was that like a sign and trade. And then he signed the contract with the Pacers. Like he didn't want to be there. He wanted to take the Pacers contract, and then they matched it.
Yeah.
So there was reasons for me to think that I didn't think they were going to be in the first seed. I still thought they would have been a good team if he came back, but
I see your point. I mean, I guess yeah. I forgot that he did one out, and they don't have Jay Crowder. He hasn't even came back.
Yeah, and I forgot. Yeah, even that Jay Crowder.
CP3's been hurt.
Yeah, Jay Crowder. You have the Jay Crowder question mark. A veteran off the who's a power forward, a leader.
Another player that he let go for nothing.
Dude.
But we're gonna.
Look, so far the Heat letting go of PJ Tucker hasn't bit us in the ass yet because
he's been horrible.
He's been fucking terrible. Yeah.
Terrible. One thing I wanted to say was that the Pacers, they're giving me kind of like Clipper vibes. Like y'all remember the Clippers before when they still had Tobias Harris and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander when he was like a rookie, and they were like a top seed in the West like for the first part, and then they fell all the way down. That's probably what the Pacers are. I think that's what's going to happen with the Pacers, too. They start off hot and then eventually just fall off. This really what's happening to the Jazz right now, too.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's the same thing with them. They started out like the best team in the West, and they're 3-7 over the last 10 games. So they're coming back down to, reality.
This is totally off topic, but that Eng doll over there, I see you. That's what's up, my boy. I see you got the little ninja. Is that a Ninja Turtle one too back there?
Who?
The what?
I see the Eng doll over there. That's pretty dope.
Oh, the Eng, yeah.
Yeah. Is that Leonardo too back there? Is that a Ninja Turtle?
One?
The one behind Spider-Man. The one behind Spider-Man. I can't really tell.
No, that's So I have behind Spider-Man. Fuck that one.
Yeah.
I have this one.
Oh, that's Captain America. Okay.
Yeah, and I have the Human Torch.
Ooh, okay. We got Marvel fan over here. We love to see that.
And a bunch of other ones in the back. You cannot see them, but there's more on the back and on the other side of the room. I have like bunch of them.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, if you don't mind me asking, I see you got all the superheroes. Who would you say is the best superhero in your opinion?
I mean, mm, okay. I'm not a comic book fan, so I haven't read any comic book. If I gotta talk about the movies,
Like, who would
uh,
you say has had like from the movies? Who would you say has the best story? Not
Oh,
necessarily
shut
like
it! Just fucking
powers,
put that up there, dude.
not necessarily like the powers, but most like the storyline. Like, who would you say to you like is the best superhero?
I really like the storyline of Captain America. I really
Okay,
like his storyline, the one that he had. I think that the trilogy, the first one, Winter Soldier and Civil War, might be one of the best one that Marvel has. If you compare, the Iron Man and Thor, the four Thor movies, out of all the four ones, I think the best one is still the first one. The
yeah,
second
I
one,
agree.
yeah, is the first one. The second one it's okay. I mean, nah, the second one is not okay. The second one is pretty bad. The third one, it's alright, and then the fourth one, I don't know what they're doing.
The fourth one was awful.
The fourth
Yeah,
one was
I don't know what they're
horrible.
doing because they have
I
a
like.
Dude,
they had a
they ruined Christian Bale like in the Marvel's like scene. Like
yeah. I was
he's
gonna tell
like
you that.
he can't be anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, they
They
had a great
wasted him.
actor. They had a great actor. Christian Bale. We all know that son of a bitch. We all know what he's capable of, and they
Yeah.
had him as a villain. You already know what he's capable of as a superhero. He played maybe the most well known superhero out there, which is Batman. But now he's playing. He played a villain, and it was an interesting turn for him. And I think he did the best that he could have. With the script that he got.
Yeah,
And
horrible.
I think that he did a good job, but just the movie as it is as a whole, it was not good. So that's why I say that maybe Captain America, his movies might be the best ones as a
Oh,
trilogy. I still think that a Winter Soldier is the best Marvel movie yet.
Yeah.
Um,
very good.
you
It's a
know,
good movie. Good.
above Infinity War and Endgame. Um, but that's personally because I like that type of genre, the one that they used for Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. When it comes to Infinity War and Endgame, Infinity War is a better movie. Endgame is just more like fan service. For it's the end. The last movie. The last hour of that movie, the whole battle. Every fan wanted to see that, and they deliver. They deliver that the whole final battle scene. It was amazing. But as a movie as a whole, I think Infinity War was better.
I agree. I would say Infinity War was better simply because the villain won.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
That's basically what put the movie over Endgame. In
pretty
my
much.
opinion, the
Yeah,
fact that Thanos won. Yeah, no,
yeah.
definitely.
And even though everybody got snapped away at the end of Infinity War, and you knew, I mean, they were gonna come back. You knew they were gonna bring him back. Uh, it was still shocking, to see that in the movie theater, and to at that moment when I watched the movie, uh, nobody, I mean, nobody make a noise. Like nobody made a noise at that moment. Like everybody was quiet. There was a bunch of gas, but that was about it. So,
Uh, Have any of you seen? I know Jesus has 'cause I went with him. The new Black Panther movie.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Have you, Caesar?
You said the new Black Panther? No, I haven't. I
Great
haven't.
movie. Great
I'm
movie.
too cheap right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm waiting for it to come out on Disney Plus. Don't hate me. That's just what I mean right now. I'm waiting. I'm
but
waiting.
that's actually smart because of the way how Marvel has been um taking care of Phase 4 hasn't been the best yet.
Yeah, I agree. I
But
every
then
movie in Fate 4 has been not good.
yeah. So
Below
I mean,
average.
I think out of all the movies, not TV shows, movies of Phase 4, the ones that really deserve to go and watch in the movie theater, it was Shang-Chi, No Way Home, and shit, I don't even remember what else came out, and probably Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That movie was great to watch in the movie theater, but I like that one better than the first one. I'm not a fan of the first one. I know everybody loved the first one, and I can
Never
see
seen it.
why. I can see why everybody loves the first one, but it's not the best Marvel movie. Uh, it's not a great superhero story, but the second one, I don't know. The second one, I like the second one better. I think it was
Okay.
more well structured. Like the whole story was well done.
Okay. Okay. Well, definitely gotta when it comes out on Disney Plus, I'll definitely watch it.
I,
Um.
I
It was a
think
fire movie. I
I
loved it.
think I think the one thing that's like super interesting about what Marvel did and what like a lot of the franchises are now copying is like the connectivity between movies and shows. Marvel's kind of started that whole like, oh, there's like this part of this movie is simultaneously going on in this movie that you have to watch next, and like
Yeah,
draws like the fan to that and to the spin-offs and things like that, and Game of Thrones is starting to follow um that kind of, you know, um blueprint, if you will, of like how to do movies, and how to do shows. So I think that's super interesting to see, like, franchises are going to start copying that, I think.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's
So,
right.
since we're on the movie topic, if I may ask a question, because I want to know, I'm trying to make sure that we get that you feel, uh, you know, in the
Included.
conversation, yeah,
Yeah.
included in the conversation.
In my
Yeah,
element.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want to know, since you're a big movie guy, from what Tyler has spoken about, what would you say is your favorite but most underrated like comedy movie?
So okay, there's a movie. Not a lot of people knows about this movie because it was a very independent movie, and it came out at the end of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. It's called the Disaster Artist. Um, so not a lot of, like I said, not a lot of people know about that movie because so I don't know if you know who James Franco is, the
Oh
actor.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know
so
exact. I think I know exactly what movie you're talking about.
yeah, so he directed that movie. He directed it, and I think he also wrote it along somebody else, but he directed the movie. And he also stars in the movie as the protagonist along his brother, Dave Franco. And it is about a movie that actually came out in the early 2000s that's called The Room, which is considered probably the worst movie ever made. Now, I have never seen that movie. I have never seen it, but I've seen clips of the movie, and the movie looks awful. It looks, it looks just like a big piece of shit. But when a movie is so bad that as time goes by, it becomes like a what you call it, like a movie that a lot of people remembers for whatever reason. Maybe it's a quote, or maybe because of the character. It becomes like a culture, like a cult movie. It becomes a cult movie. So that one ended up becoming a cult movie, even though it was horrible. And the reason why is because he the guy who directed the movie and came out with the idea of the movie, nobody knew much about him um, when he was making the whole movie. Nobody knew where he got the money from for the budget. Nobody knows where he was from. Uh, he moved to LA, and nobody knew how he got the place there in LA. How he rented the whole camera and the whole equipment to do the movie. But at the end of the time, at the end of the line, he made the movie, and it was a big flop. Nobody liked the movie. But at the end of the day, he kind of got rewarded with the adaptation that James Franco did because the guy who worked with him in that movie, he wrote a book called The Disaster Artist. And he told basically he told the whole experience that he lived during that time they shot the movie. And that's where James got the inspiration to do that movie. And that movie is supposed to be a comedy. And I love the movie. I think it's one of the best movies of that year, 2017. So I'm pretty sad that not a lot of people knows about the movie, because the marketing of the movie was not the biggest, unless you're really into movies and you know what movies are coming out and you're into certain actors, you can get to know what movies will have like a big marketing promotion and which ones will not. And that one happened to be one of those that did not have a lot of promotion. They did not promote the movie that well. But James Franco won a Golden Globe because of his performance, and it was a great performance for him. Now he did not get nominated that year for the Oscar because some accusations came up about him. Uh, um, Apparently I think he had he used to have his own master class where he used to teach people how to act, and he had different girls, young girls, going to those classes, and I think he used to do some kind of fishy things. So at the time where the nominations for best actors were gonna come up, those allegations also came up. So he did not get nominated mainly because of that reason. But he did an amazing job as the protagonist and the director. I think he did good to be his first movie. So when it comes to, I like comedy movies. I don't see it that much. I do not
That's
consume
shocked.
that many um comedy movies, but I think that will be one.
Okay, I'm
But
actually I like James Franco. I think he's very funny. For if I had to pick one movie, I was actually gonna pick a James Franco movie. I think Pineapple Express gotta be one of my favorite movies of all time.
yeah, I have not
Like,
seen that one, but
Dude,
he has one called the Interview,
yeah,
movie's
and that
fire. I love that fucking
yeah that,
movie.
that movie yeah that movie's
I
fun as
think
fuck.
please don't kill me if I get the name wrong, but I think it's Seth Rogen. That's his name.
That's the name. That's the
Seth
name. Yeah.
Rogen,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, they
my
have such
man.
good they have such good chemistry together. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
they
know
do.
the interview Pineapple Express was actually on Netflix, so if you want to go check that out, you can. And This Is the End, hilarious movies.
Speaking of
Yeah, and
Netflix, you gotta watch Wednesday. I'm watching it. I'm binge watching Wednesday right now. It's a great fucking show. Great
Creeps
fucking.
me out.
You watched it,
I've seen, yeah, I was watching a little bit of like starting it. It creeps me out. Not gonna lie.
dude?
It's
It's
like
a
the hand, bro. The hand's
it
throwing me off.
dude. It goes. I like movies that keep you entertained. I'm not movies like movies and shows, and it literally I like maybe 5 minutes in, dude. It starts and it doesn't stop. It's not like I haven't seen one boring scene in the movie in the show so far, and I'm going into my fifth episode.
Bro, when
Um,
she whooped their ass, like on the
Dude, yeah, I'm
she was
telling you,
giving them
and that
the
was
hands.
yeah, dude. She gives it the hands multiple times. That's not the only time. She's done it like three more. Um,
Shit.
it's a very mysterious, dark. Like the main character, Wednesday. She literally is like this dark girl, dude, that has no emotions, and she's a badass. She's a badass, and it's a very good show. I love the show so far. Um,
I don't know. It's
I've
not
heard
I
that
mixed
deep.
things. I've heard mixed things about characters, and actually, I found out today. I heard mixed things about characters that I like so far. So we'll see what happens later on in the show.
I know she went like cold hearted because they killed her scorpion. Hey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She had a pet
well,
scorpion that she was walking for some reason. She walked her pet scorpion, and some people pulled up on her and ran over the fucking scorpion on a bike. I was like, I'm
Now, I got
done.
a question for you guys. Because I don't remember what point of the year, but it was this year. A movie on Netflix came out about Adam Sandler. He
Oh,
starred in the
dude, I
movie.
know. Oh,
I don't remember the name of the movie exactly, but
Was it the Uncut Gems?
no,
no,
fuck
no,
no. It's the
no, no.
basketball one. It's
Oh, the
Uh,
basketball
oh,
movie.
Yeah, I don't remember
What's
the
it called
movie.
again? I watched it. I
Yeah.
With Hernan Gomez.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bo Cruz.
Yep.
hustle.
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 Yeah.
it's called Hustle. Yeah, Hustle. So what do you? I don't know if you guys have seen the movie. And if you did, what do you think about the movie? And what do you think about the um the basketball player who also he stars in the movie? I don't know his exact name. Tyler, he knows the name of the guy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he was.
Willie Hernan,
Willie
Juan
Hernan
Hernan.
Juancho.
Gomez.
No,
His
Juancho Hernan
Juan
Gomez.
Yeah.
Juancho.
Juancho.
I think he sucks.
He
But in
he
the movie,
sucks is in the NBA. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
but
not.
Yeah, in the NBA, he's not. You
Good.
know, he's
but
in the
in the
NBA. He's
movie,
gonna beat any of us in a real like one-on-one game, obviously.
what?
But oh, man.
Give him
Dude, in
coach
terms of, in
grade.
terms of his NBA skill compared to other NBA players, he sucks. Like they said, he sucks.
Hey, he's
He
still
did
in the
it.
top 1%. You
Yeah,
know,
he's still in the top 1%, the 450 players in the league or whatever it is. He's good enough to be in the NBA, so clearly he's good. Um,
Mhm.
I think he did a good job acting. I thought the movie was directed great by Adam
Yeah, I thought he
Sandler.
did a good job.
You could feel the passion as Adam Sandler, as like from a director perspective. You could feel the NBA passion and the sports passion he had. He had a bunch of NBA players that actually play that were acting in the movie. He had Anthony Edwards, who I think did a great job
top
as the
performance.
fucking yeah
The
over there
antagonist,
trying to
yeah.
get in over there trying to get in Bo Cruz's head, talking shit about his daughter, talking shit about his wife, everything like that, trying to antagonize him. He did a good job. Um, I'm pretty sure it was produced by LeBron, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty sure,
LeBron
yeah. No, Adam Sandler, he was playing what you call a scouter. Is that how you call
scouter,
them?
yeah, he was a scouter.
So yeah, he was playing a scouter.
Yeah,
Is that? I mean, the guy who he was playing is he still like an actual scouter in real life?
I don't think that was an
Yeah,
actual
it wasn't
scouter.
like based on anybody like
Yeah.
in the NBA. I don't think,
That's how scouters are, though. They'll go overseas to Europe and everywhere else, and they'll scout players overseas that they can
bro.
project.
The funny thing, what was that one scene where they had the one dude who was like saying he was like 16 or whatever, or like 21, and he was really like 45, and then he's like, and then
On
Boban comes
12?
out. Yeah,
Oh no.
Boban comes out, and he's like, "Yo, that's my kid" or whatever. Remember that? That was hilarious.
Because Boban's literally like
7
7'5"
foot,
or
yeah,
some
7'5"
shit,
with
dude.
those
And he's
big
like, "I'm
ass ears.
18." He's like, "What? You're
Oh,
That was
18?"
funny.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
the
What's your
one
guys'
thing,
favorite sports movie?
remember the Titans? Oh, for real.
Classic.
I
Don't,
Well,
don't, don't, don't piss
Tyler,
me off.
Tyler,
Don't piss me off.
I was like, I haven't seen
Don't,
like any of
don't.
them,
Yeah, no, that's true. I haven't seen any sports movies like that.
We will be perfect. You never seen it?
bro.
No, no.
Oh my
Listen,
god.
listen
You
to
drop
this.
a ball, run a lap.
Listen.
Fumble the ball,
My
run a lap.
Mile.
Mile.
listen, damn it. My movie perspective is not, it's not that high, I don't know why I said perspective. My movie knowledge is not that high. Um I started watching movies recently, like within the last year and a half. Before that, I would watch a movie every year, like once or twice, and that was it. Marvel movies, new popular movies that are coming out. I haven't watched a sports movie other than Hustle. Yeah, so
What man came
I
jump?
think
uh,
there's one
Airbud. Yeah, I watched
about
Airbud.
baseball. For those for those of you who like baseball, there's one about baseball. It's called Moneyball
I didn't
Yeah,
with
watch that either.
that's a good movie.
Brad Pitt. It's
That's
about
based
it
on a
says that
true guy.
Oakland A's general manager Billy Beane's successful attempt to assemble a baseball team on a lean budget by employing computer generated analysis to acquire new players. I don't know if any of you knows who he was, or I mean, I don't know if he's still alive, Billy
Yeah.
Beans.
Hmm.
Um, but and what really was happening back then with the Oakland, I mean, with that team. But I found the movie. I mean, I really watched the movie not because I'm a baseball fan. I mean, I know a couple stuff about baseball because in Venezuela a lot of people sees that, they watch that sport, but I'm not a fan. But
Me neither.
yeah, the main reason why I watched the movie is because Brad Pitt was in it, and I like Brad Pitt, and I ended up, coming across a movie that was actually really good,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good movie.
Hmm.
You kind of, if you're not into that sport, you kind of like learn about the sport, how they actually, how they what's the word, how they
Hmm.
scout people too, how they discover new players, and it was very interesting. So that's a
What's
movie, I would
interesting?
say that's my favorite sport movie.
Yeah, that's
So
good. Real quick though, I just want to say, so what's interesting, not to go too deep into baseball, but what's interesting about that movie is like he started, Billy Bean basically started like using analytics in baseball and more than like they were already being used. Like he like changed the way like people are scouted, and like teams don't really look at the player, they look at like actual runs for each player, and literally like that whole thing came from Billy Bean. So it was just interesting that he like kind of changed the game that way. That's all I wanted to say on that.
Yeah, it's a great
um
movie.
so I feel like a great sports movie that's not really known, but it's like a movie that actually like gives you anxiety, like sports movie wise. I would say is Draft Day. Like I don't know,
Dude,
I don't know if Andrew's seen the movie.
I was
I've
seeing it.
had,
Yeah,
I heard the
bro.
song.
Tyler, I think me and you can't went to see that.
That
I don't
movie is
remember.
like it's like
Probably.
it's about a GM that's like for the Cleveland Browns, and he's like on his
Oh, I did
last
watch
like
that. Yeah, I did watch that.
on, and I know Chadwick Boseman was in that movie.
R.I.P.
Is that a baseball movie?
R.I.P. No, it's
Yeah.
a
Oh, it's a
No,
football
football
football,
movie.
football. Yeah.
football movie.
Oh, football,
That
because
was around the time Johnny Manziel got drafted, right?
It was like
Yeah,
a year or two after. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
great
because
movie, great
Chadwick, because
movie.
Chadwick Boseman, he did one. I think it's called 41.
That's
yeah.
42.
42. 42.
42
That's
with
Sylvester
Jackie
Yeah,
Jackie.
Robinson.
That great
42,
movie as well. Great
Yeah, he's
movie.
42. Yeah,
fantastic in that.
I haven't seen that one, but I've heard of it.
Okay,
Yeah,
how do
it's
y'all
a good
feel about
movie.
a Looney Tunes movie with LeBron and Space Jam?
I didn't see
R.I.P.
the one
Chadwick.
with Space Jam or with LeBron. The OG one is the OG one. Goat movie, one of the best movies of all time, best cartoon movie of all time. But
Yeah, the first Space Jam. Anybody who grows up, I mean, at around that time and watch the movie will consider the movie a good movie, because the movie,
yeah,
even though it's not like the greatest movie out there, it's like a guilty pleasure. You see the movie
yeah,
because you grew up watching that movie and
Makes
yeah,
it.
watching. You grew up watching Michael Jordan playing with Bugs Bunny. So
yeah,
that, I mean, what else do you need in life? But then,
Not lying.
no, yeah. What else do you need, right? And what else? What else does he need? He already accomplished everything. I don't know how many rings he has, but I mean, he has God knows how many rings. He's considered one of the best basketball players out there, and he made a movie with the Looney Tunes. So he accomplished everything in life. But with the one with LeBron, I think that was a huge mistake. I fell asleep watching the movie many times. I don't even think I finished the movie. I think I watched it here at my house in HBO Max because I was in denial of paying a movie ticket to go and watch the movie, and I'm
It was in
glad
the
that I
movie
did
theater.
because yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I watched it on
I
HBO Max.
I fell asleep. It was just it,
yeah. I
I
didn't
mean,
even watch it.
it's funny because LeBron, he was supposed to be playing himself in the movie, and he was so bad. Like, I, it makes no sense.
That makes
Like,
Caesar happy.
Dude, I'm he's just so bad at acting. I just
I
Listen,
understand that he moved to Cali because he wanted to play in the Lakers, but also because he might become an actor after he retires. I don't think he has a future as an actor. There is a lot of athletes who, after they retire from whatever sport they play, they wanna jump into acting. The Rock did it. Uh, he has had a lot of success because he's genuinely a nice guy. He looks like a nice guy, like a nice person, and he's a great producer. He produces a lot of movies, and he has his own company. called $7. So the guy, he started very low with a shitty ass movie, and he's still very low in acting, in my opinion. But every when you see a movie where he stars like the main protagonist, you don't see the character. You see The Rock. You see Dwayne Johnson
Yeah.
because he doesn't try his best to change his looks to try to see make himself look different. It's just The Rock. So I don't think LeBron has a future if he ever. I mean, whenever he retires from basketball, which I think should be very soon because he's kind of too old. Now he still plays good. He still plays good, but I think he should retire soon.
So would you? So you know how we talk like The Rock. So would you say like because I know another wrestlers like Batista and like John Cena. Do you feel like John Cena has it's like basically like on LeBron level, or do you feel like you know like he's
I
just
I think he's a little better because if you there's a TV show called Peacemaker in HBO Max.
It's a
So
good show.
yeah, if you see that show, the
I
show
didn't
is
see
pretty
that.
good. Yeah, the show is pretty good, and he's the main character. And I think that's the if you ever wants to see John Cena like really acting and not being like he's been in a lot of comedies. And I guess that's how a lot of athletes they start. I mean, LeBron did space. I mean, whatchamacallit, Space Jam. The Rock, he did a lot of comedies back in the days. Uh, Dave Bautista, I think he's done also comedy. So everybody started. I think every athlete who wants to jump into movies, they start doing comedies. And John Cena, he was not the exception up until 2021 when he started in the Suicide Squad, the last one that came out, and then that fo- uh, that followed the TV show Peacemaker. So if you want to see a good acting from John Cena, you can watch the Peacemaker. That's a great TV show and a great example that he might be able to act. He does a good job in the TV show. Now
because
Dave Bautista, I think he's alright. I think he's alright. You know, I think he's alright. If I gotta compare him and the Rock, I think they might be the same. Bautista might have a little more to give, but I don't know. It depends of what roles they're given.
I
I
think
think the
Batista.
Rock. I think the Rock can only play literally one character.
And it's himself.
Yeah, and it's just like the gigantic fucking
Oh,
like
that he is.
the gigantic ripped like kind of like hero of the movie.
Pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I feel like Batista plays himself just in a different role. Like he's in every movie that I've seen him personally, he's like a musclehead. You know, like
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
movie
that's
where
true
he
too.
where he's with that little girl. I forgot the name of the movie. But also like Guardians of the Galaxy, like he plays Drax, who's like a musclehead.
No, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like John. I don't know, but John Cena might be a little bit different. But like I thought his acting was horrible in like Fast and the Furious.
Right. I keep forgetting that he was in Fast and
It
Furious.
was
He
so
was alright.
bad.
He was
Yeah.
he was he was I mean, you cannot expect that much from those movies. And
Dude,
the
especially
fact
now.
yeah, especially now. And the fact that the next one's gonna come out next year, I think it's June or May, I don't remember. It's just crazy. That's the 10th one. I think that's supposed to be the last one. And I mean, even the guy who was supposed to direct the movie, he had to step down from the production because he could not deal with Vin Diesel. I mean, he couldn't stand him. Like he had to step down, and they had to replace the director. So, but yeah,
Let's talk
that's
about one. Let's move back to basketball for a second because this happened yesterday, and I know that you saw it on Twitter. Let's talk about CP3 smashing Kim Kardashian. What are we gonna say about this? Is the
Bro,
reason why he hasn't made the play, hasn't won a championship his whole career because he fucking has the Kardashian curse? Is that what we're gonna say?
that'd be wild.
Dude,
Dude, I don't
I
think
don't
he
blame.
actually did.
I
I
don't
think
blame the
Kanye
man.
is fucking
I don't. I'm not
insane,
gonna
bro.
lie. I don't blame the man. I don't blame. I mean, he has kids, so I'm assuming he has a wife. Oh, I don't know his situation, but if he has a wife, that's fucked up. If he's divorced and he did it, that's that's no problem with that to me.
Dude,
But
I don't know like how true it is though. That's the thing. It's like, do
But
we actually believe this, or did we
dude,
like just assume that
that's just.
Kanye
I mean, it's all
Kanye is
speculation.
insane, bro?
It's just interesting to talk about. I mean, why would he pick Chris Paul out of everyone? Like, okay, this guy
Because
smashed
like
fucking.
that's hilarious. Because like who the fuck would have thought about Chris Paul?
see, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would he lie about Chris
Yeah, you
Paul?
don't lie. You don't pick Chris Paul to be like,
Like,
okay, this
like
guy
if
smashed Kim Kardashian.
like Chris Paul is
It's
not that big
true.
anymore. Like,
Dude,
why didn't he pick
Ben is
LeBron
in
or
the
Steph
chat, my
Curry?
boy. What's up,
Now
Ben?
wasn't Kendall Jenner dating basketball
Devin
player?
Booker.
Yeah,
Devin
Devin
Booker.
Booker,
They're
which
on the
was
same team.
Chris
They're on the
Paul's
same team.
teammate.
Is he
They're
good?
teammates.
Is he any
Hell
good?
yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
He's better than Chris Paul. It's wild. It's wild. It's curse is real. And they have two of those fuckers that are smashing Kardashians apparently, or smash the Kardashians. So I wonder why they fucking choked in the finals when they were up 2-0. Makes
Dude,
sense.
that'd be fucking wild if it came out and that's what happened.
This man literally posted that shit, and then he started flaming Elon on Twitter, and then
Dude,
Elon just banned his Twitter. He
dude,
literally banned his shit.
literally started it started flaming Elon, dude.
Bro,
Elon's like,
I'm not
fuck
gonna
this.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like Elon is built weird, bro.
Bro, he is built
Bro, he took
weird,
a
And
bro.
fat
he's
picture of he
pale
was
as
hosing
bro,
someone with his shirt off, dude, and then this man literally.
bro, bro. I don't know. He's built weird, like, and he's just like pale as fuck.
He's like me,
Yeah.
bro.
No.
Bro, he's just a doughy
worse than
fuck.
you.
He's literally me with fucking $1 billion.
It's like his body type is like somebody like grabbed some Play-Doh, like wrapped it up in a ball and threw it on the wall.
Bro, his body doesn't match his face.
No,
Dude,
nah.
I saw someone said that all like billionaires are weird as fuck, and Elon's weird as fuck, dude. Elon's weird, bro. Elon's weird as fuck. That
Dude,
shit,
Elon is pretty weird, bro. Bill Gates is
bro.
weird.
Bill Gates is
Kanye's
dead.
entertainment on Twitter, even though he says he says
Dude,
some hateful
is
shit.
Mark Cuban a billionaire? He's got to be
Hell
a
yeah,
billionaire.
Mark Cuban is
Yes,
a
he's
billionaire.
not
Mark
weird.
Cuban is the man.
Yeah, he's not weird.
Mark Cuban might be the
Bro,
number
since
one
Ben's in
normal
here, I just got to
billionaire.
go back to movies, bro. The worst movie of all time is A Clockwork Orange. The movie
Oh,
sucks.
it's a French Dispatch.
The what?
Dude,
The
Clockwork
French
Orange is
Dispatch.
the worst movie of all time.
Movie was shit.
Which one?
The French.
Hey,
Oh,
Jesus, have you seen Clockwork Orange?
No, I have not.
That movie's fucking awful.
It's so
I
bad
haven't.
that Jesus
So
hasn't even
bad,
seen it.
dude.
I have not. I have not.
So bad, dude.
You know, I remember that I saw a movie years ago, and
they said the movie's so good.
it's uh it's called Arthur and the Legend of the Sword.
Oh my
That movie,
Is that
god.
with the dude
that
from
movie,
Sons of Anarchy?
yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was so terrible that I've never wanted to walk out of the a movie theater so bad. Like I wanted that day. Like I wanted to walk out. But I stayed because I paid for the goddamn tickets. I was like, fuck it. I mean, I gotta watch the goddamn movie. But the movie was so fucking terrible. Like maybe like 10, 15 minutes into the movie, I was so fucking annoying. I was like, God, this shit just started. I still gotta sit down here for an hour and 30 minutes.
Dude, that's the worst when you're just like trying to calculate when the fuck you can get out of the movie because it was so bad.
You know, and it was crazy because the guy who directed the movie, the guy's name is Guy Ritchie,
Yeah,
and he's an amazing director. I mean,
he's the
not
man.
amazing, but he's done some
Snatch,
pretty, yeah, Snatch, the
Gentleman.
gentleman, and many others. But that's like the guy M Night Shyamalan. He back in the 90s and early 2000, he made good movies like The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and then he went ahead and did the Last Airbender, and that movie was so bad.
Uh,
Did I just see
for-
Draymond Green hit a 3 to put them up 4 points with a minute left? The fuck am I watching?
I would say for me, the worst movie I've seen is actually a movie that came out this year. The movie's called Man Eater.
The fuck?
It's it's a shark movie, and I would say like the first Jaws had a better looking shark than this movie.
Damn.
This this movie was so like god awful. It's like they had music playing the whole time. The acting was horrible.
Who was the
Like
actors in it?
I don't even know. I can't tell you a single actor.
The
It
fuck?
was just
Was it in the
so
theaters?
bad. No, I actually paid to watch it on YouTube.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
that's terrible. Well, I gotta
Yeah,
tell
Can
you
I
that
ask you a
maybe.
question? Let me ask you a question real quick. How high were you when you purchased that?
no, I don't. I don't endorse none of that stuff.
Oh
Bro,
sh!
Jesus, bro. Quick question. Have you ever seen the ballad of Buster Scruggs?
Yeah, with the
Dude,
Coen brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that movie?
Well, I mean, that movie came out years ago. I think it was alright. I think it was alright. I think it was alright.
The first
I
two
gotta.
shorts were good, but everything
Yeah,
after that
yeah,
fucking was
yeah,
awful.
everything after that went fucking to shit. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta watch it again because I respect the guys. I respect the guys who directed the movie because they make great movies. The Coen brothers, so I respect them. I think they're great, but every director always has maybe like a downfall in their career. So but yeah, I've seen the movie. It was a great movie. I
Yeah.
mean, it was the right movie and the right movie.
I've never seen it.
I think this year
It's on
the I
it's on
mean
Netflix. It's literally just a movie of like a collection of short stories that like this dude wrote, and the movie is just like a bunch of mini like short stories in a movie.
I just gotta say one last thing about movies, and then you guys can wrap it up if you guys want. I think this year out of all the movies that I've seen in the movie theater that have came out this year, Halloween Ends might be the movie that
Oh my god, that movie was horrible.
Dude,
is
it
a
was
point.
so bad, dude.
That movie really let me down. It let me down to a level that it was just too unexplainable. I cannot even explain how
Dude,
much the movie let me down,
how are you Michael Myers for 30 minutes?
dude.
That's
I
what we
Like
think
said. We
I
said we
like
think
were waiting the whole movie for him to actually show
like
up.
how do you show up for like and then how do you try to be Michael Myers for a day and then you die?
dude.
Yeah,
I shit you I shit you not. I was sitting on Tyler's left side, and the whole movie I was squawking in his ear. Where the fuck is Michael Myers? I was asking
I
that
was the
question
same. I was,
throughout the whole movie. Throughout the whole movie, I really had a bad time watching the movie.
Tyler told me he was like that movie sucks, and I didn't want to believe him.
Dude, I
And then
literally was with him and I left the theater and I went in the chat that you're in and I was like, dude, this movie was ass. I think I did that in like every chat I was in. I was like, this
Yeah,
movie was fucking terrible. They,
yeah.
they did so good with the movie before that, Halloween Kills, and then they had such a good story to end it with, and then they just completely shit the bed. They completely shit the bed with it. They just
I
took
agree.
everything and they just went the complete wrong direction. I'm gonna spoil the movie. Michael Myers dies. The movie's been out fucking 2 months. It's already on. You can get it on streaming
TikTok.
services. So I don't care. Fuck it.
I mean, I wouldn't
Mike,
be surprised if they brought him back.
yeah, Michael. Yeah,
That they
Michael Myers.
rebuild his bones and
Michael Myers dies. He should have died last movie because he got his ass beat last movie, and somehow the way he died in this one, somehow he dies that way, not the other way from the last movie. So the movie was terrible. They try to have some guy be the new Michael Myers, and they were like on a team at some point in a fucking cult over here trying to be, a fucking dynamic duo, killing everyone, and then you know, it was terrible, a terrible movie. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We've been on here for 2 hours again, another 2 hour live podcast. It went good. I thought the podcast went good. We talked about who our biggest surprises were, who the biggest disappointments. We didn't talk too much about the games really, but it is what it is. I'm glad the 4 people podcast setup looked good. We had people in here. Ben, thank you for coming out. Maria, I know you were in here. Brian is already asleep. I know that he was in here at one point. Um, everyone else who came in here, dropped a like, supported. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Andrew, thank you for coming on. Caesar, same with you. Appreciate you guys
Thanks
spending
for
2
having me.
hours.
Thank you
Of
for
course,
having
of
me.
course.
If you
Appreciate
guys
you
want to
guys.
join us, if you guys want to join us whenever we decide to talk about movies, more than welcome. Even if you're not the biggest movie fan, you still know about movies. You still have seen some movies, and maybe we've seen those movies too, so we can talk about them.
I'm down.
For sure. Hey, we'll teach each other because I'm lacking a little bit in the movie department, but sports
Facts. I think
department, I
me and
help
you
you
are
out.
both. Yeah.
Well, no, don't put me on your level. You, sir, are
I'm not saying
Paul.
you're on my level. I'm saying we're lacking in the movie level for sure.
No,
But
definitely.
me more than you. Me, I'm the worst movie watcher here by far.
But hey, man, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah,
You
nice meeting
you're a
you.
cool dude,
Thank you
man.
for being here.
I see
Thank you
you
for being here.
you give Tyler a little bit of culture. I'm
Oh,
gonna
I'm
be
man.
trying.
listening to all that Spanish
Yeah, I'm
music
trying to
now.
give him some. I'm trying to give him some. He's trying to give me some.
Culture,
So
dude. Yeah.
Nice. Love to
He's
see
got me
it.
with the culture for sure. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. Like I said, thank you guys for all coming out here listening to us. We'll have Andrew and Caesar back on here anytime. I'm gonna try to get Andrew and Caesar on here anytime we talk about basketball. We'll be talking about football. Like I said, I put a tweet out. We'll talk about football when the playoffs start. I'm gonna let them handle that one. I don't know anything about football, so I'll let Andrew in the top right and Caesar talk about that. We'll have Jack on here, also another one who wants to be on the podcast. Um, but yeah, if you haven't followed the social medias, all the links are below on the Twitch and on our YouTube. Our links are on there, so you can go ahead and follow the Instagram, the TikTok, our Twitch, and Twitter, and the YouTube. We post clips, we post movie news, everything like that, and then we'll be having more live podcasts in the future, and just head-to-head podcasts. We'll be talking about sports, movies, stuff like that. So, anyone else have anything else to say?
thank you for being
Nope.
here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. This was great. I ain't gonna lie. This was so much fun. And I'm
Dude,
down
Yeah.
to do this whenever.
hell yeah, baby! That's what I like to hear.
It's dope.
All right, thank you guys for coming out. You have a great